Okay, we are live. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Security at the In30 Podcast Network. We are discussing, I guess, or this is episode 33. So for the first time in about 5 weeks, I finally got the episode number right. And I have a feeling that episode numbers are eventually going to go by the wayside if I'm the one dealing with it. But today we have a good show. Not necessarily computer security, and we've talked about this, but we want to talk about actual physical security. Things around the house, on your body, just doing the right thing. And apparently Tom has a lot of toys to be playing with today. So let's say hi to Tom, and let's start playing with some lockpicks.
Howdy, everyone. Like all good people, in the hacker space are interested in security, we all know the general rule of, hey, look, if the device falls out of your possession into an attacker's possession, consider it owned. And there's a lot of reasons for that, one of which being they could have installed a hardware keylogger, or they could have replaced your hard drive with something nefarious that has malware on it, or they could have recoded your BIOS, or whatever, So, generally considered, physical security is just as important as digital security. If, the NSA is in your data center and they're putting, tracer lines on your Ethernet cables or installing their own boxes in your data center, yeah, you're kind of hosed. So, you need physical security, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And I do have a lot of toys here.
Well, I guess the first thing is, just really simply is the most important thing on your house is just being safe. Your door locks, your window locks, just really simple things like that, and what you should do. And I guess the first thing is we talk about don't have just a normal tumbler lock. Have a deadbolt, have different keys for different doorknobs, stuff like that. Because I guess the first thing is the tumbler lock we can pick with a credit card or a hairpin, or in Tom's case, you can go and buy a whole bunch of lockpicks. Or you can talk to Kevin Mitnick and he'll give you a business card with lockpicks on it.
And while that's cool, those are actually really terrible lockpicks.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that when I discuss the toys. And thank you for reminding me of my favorite physical security hacking tool, the Kroger Plus card. It is just bendable enough to fit into doors and to just unstick that door jamb and you get right in. I have opened so many doors with so many broken locks with this thing. It has saved my life countless times. I love the Kroger Plus card. A close mention, but probably second place to the Kroger Plus card would be, and I don't have one with me, the wire coat hanger. Do yourself a favor, spend like $5, get a 20-pack of wire coat hangers, and just about any really old car, just stick it right down in the window. You can unlock your car. I know because I lock my keys in my car on a yearly basis. It just happens. But each time, the coat hanger has worked. It's gotten me out of a jam and saved me a call to a locksmith and or AAA. So, good times.
Well, I guess the first thing people think of is, the first thing I got to do is when I leave the house, I got to lock my doors. First thing I got to do, I got to lock my doors. And you're not wrong by locking your doors. But what's more important is I guess you want to talk about the outside, the appearance of your house. Here's the thing: if you have all this mail and all these news flyers outside your door, locking the door is not going to do anything. Nobody's home. They'll just kick in the door. They'll break a window. They'll do whatever it takes. They'll get in.
Yeah, if your house looks like you're not home, if your grass is 2 or 3 feet high, if you've got gold bars stacked up in the window with a free gold sign right there sitting on the kitchen table where everyone can see, you're probably a target. It's no secret that the majority of crimes and the vast majority of burglaries happen during times of opportunity. They are quite simply crimes of opportunity. It's, a burglar, a thief, even somebody that's not necessarily in the business of breaking into places will walk by, see, a door ajar, or they'll see no one's home and they think, oh wow, that's a really nice TV inside. I'm sure they won't miss it. Or you're walking in the school's library and there's an iPod laying on a table or a laptop in an airport, and just grab and walk away. Crimes of opportunity. The easiest way to protect yourself in the physical security realm, try to be don't try to be a target, right? Do smart things that makes yourself easier to attack.
Now, this is
Or
not the right idea.
more difficult to attack.
More difficult, because I was going to say, this is not necessarily the right idea. You don't have to outrun the bear, you have to outrun your friend. Which is, you just have to make your device or your property or your house be less desirable than your immediate neighbors.
Right. So if you need to take a nap in an airport, do what I did. Instead of being that guy that slouched up against the wall, drool hanging out of his mouth, and he's totally asleep, and, his MacBook is propped up against the wall a couple feet away from him, instead of doing that, because that guy's really easy to steal from, do what I do. Just throw your stuff in your bag and use your backpack as a really bulky and uncomfortable pillow. Yeah, it's kind of annoying to have to do that, but, if somebody really wants to steal something, they're going to have to wake you up. And you're probably not going to be happy about, getting woken up by a stranger, and you're probably going to be less happy about your stuff getting stolen. So, don't make yourself a target.
And I know it's difficult. You're sitting at Starbucks, you're sitting in your college cafeteria, and you got to go to the bathroom, which means I got to pack everything up. But you know what? You got to pack everything up. Close the lid. I mean, now that's a motivation for you to find an easy way. Look at your bag. Is this the bag that you need? That if you're constantly going to the bathroom or you're working and you have to move a lot, find a different bag. Make it easy.
Yeah. I remember in college I had this gigantic briefcase, and I had all kinds of gadgets. And when I would sit and work on a paper, I'd have everything out. I'd have the computer and the power cords and the headphones and like the external cell phone charger battery thing and charging on my laptop, and then my phone, and then some other stuff. I had it all spread out. And then it's just like, you're sitting there at the cafeteria and you're like, oh no. Then it hits you. You're just like, I drank 4 espressos. I've got to go, and I've got to go now. I got to unplug everything and put it to sleep and throw it in your bag. And if it helps you to, kind of lower to kind of shrink your target on your back, start carrying less stuff, or make it really easy to get up and go. I mean, if you can plan for this sort of stuff, if you can just think a little bit before putting yourself into the situation, you could save yourself some headache later.
I mean, we're talking about securing your laptop. It's everyone knows I can spot a MacBook from 10 feet away. It's the shiny thing with the big Apple logo on it. Okay?
And it's the thing I know I can pawn for a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, so if you cover the Apple logo, you're going to, and I mean, people are not going to go after it. I mean, they may because it's a computer, but they're not necessarily going to go after it. Same thing with all these brand name items. The Beats by Dre headphones. It says Beats right on them. They're, one, terrible headphones, but two, they're a status symbol. And you leave them around, people are going to take them. And those are easy to take because everyone has a pair. You can't just say, oh, that's mine or whatever it is. Leaving your iPhone out. Who's going to take it? I constantly see kids at school, in the cafeteria, they're going to throw out their trash, they leave their phone there. Now, their table may be trustworthy, but there's so many people there. I walk up and I grab their phone. And they go, why'd you grab my phone? I said, you didn't even know. I had to sit there waiting for you. That's a $650 phone. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
and
that's not the cheapest thing to replace.
And I get a lot of wise-ass remarks. Oh, I have insurance. And I go, so it's still $50 deductible. But I said, all you had to do is put it in your pocket. Well, who was going to take it? And they go, I did. What I could really do is hold it and make your parents come by. But I'm not. I'm just trying to show you that this is something that can happen.
Yeah. And, there's really something to be said for the name brand hackery, right? So there's something to be said for if you're at an airport, if you're an enterprising thief and you see the MacBook Air sitting next to some Toshiba or Dell or some like really crappy looking 5-year-old PC, it's like, that thing still runs, I don't want to grab that. You're going to target the shiniest thing, which photographers, interestingly enough, have found out firsthand. Many photographers that travel all around the world will be mugged for really expensive looking cameras. So what's been happening, it's probably started, I want to say I saw this on the internet probably 4 years ago. I'm sure it's been going on for longer than that. But some guy had a really expensive, nice Nikon SLR thing. It was this big professional camera. And what he did is he took, duct tape, and painter's tape, and scuffed it in the dirt. The tape, that is, scuffed it in the dirt. That's an SLR. That's a wonderful camera. Scuffed it in the dirt and used Sharpie on it, and just made it look really nasty, covered in tape. So you could easily pull the tape off and it's shiny again. But looking at it from the outside, it's like, ugh. That thing looks like it's held together by duct tape, and it looks really crappy.
But what I was saying, going on the exact same line as you, and now I can't figure this out. But the strap, what does it say around you? Canon, EOS. Now this is a cheap strap. This is EOS digital. If you know anything about cameras, this is not the right one. But the expensive ones say Mark III next to it.
Yeah.
Okay, you know that one. You know that this is a professional camera, and people are going to buy it. But yeah, so people put the foil around it, like you said. They
just make it look really bad. There are even cases you can buy for your phone that disguise your iPhone 5 as a really nasty, grungy-looking Android phone, or it's a big, bulky thing that just looks bad. You're just like, I don't really want to touch it, let alone steal it. It makes you not a target. It lowers that, or it shrinks that target on your back to almost nothing.
Well, I guess we're all over the place. We're talking about what not to leave around and what to do, but let's start really simply. Your front door.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's the thing. If you're buying a house or you're trying to rent an apartment, you're clearly going to go to the safest place you possibly can find. I've never heard someone to say, "I really want to go to this crime-ridden area. I like being around crime." So the first thing you're going to do, so when people say, "Oh, I got robbed. How could this happen to me?" It's like you said in the beginning. They're thieves of opportunity. You have a safe neighborhood, and some not so safe person came in. But you hear people, they get lazy and they leave their door open. They leave the.
Oh, we never lock our doors around here. Everyone knows everyone. Yeah, well, what about that guy from out of town? You don't know him.
Or, I would say the first thing, you have your house, you bought in a nice neighborhood. The first thing I tried to do is I would meet my neighbors. They're going to be the first line of defense when you're not home. Mm-hmm. You're going to take care of them, and it's really simple. Just go up, ring their doorbell. This is the awkward moment where you have to be a little
bring a Jell-O mold or some cupcakes,
and say, "Hey, I just moved in. I just want to say hi. My name is so-and-so," and they'll be more than happy to at least say hi. And now you have a friend watching over you.
Yeah. So, hey, was there a gardener that came by your house, last weekend when you guys were out of town? Because I saw him snooping around the house, and I didn't really know who he was. So I stood outside and watered my plants and looked at him. And, that might be enough to drive some thieves away. Just eyeballs is enough to get most shady people to scatter a little bit, unless they're really professional or really adamant about breaking into a house.
And as you do, and if you're doing work and you see your neighbor outside, just give them a heads up. Hey, I'm doing my deck right now. Get my deck done. Because a lot of thieves the good ones will disguise themselves as a contractor, or I've seen this before, a moving truck.
Yes.
And if you don't talk to your neighbors, like if you're in an apartment building and you never know your neighbors, an apartment truck outside, you see that every day. No one would know. So just something just as simple as be aware of your surroundings. Just go introduce yourselves to your neighbors and I mean, and obviously be nice. Don't
Mhm.
harass them, but hopefully if there's a problem, they'll call you, they'll call the police, they'll do whatever. Because at the end of the
Mhm.
day, a robber robbing your house is mean they could come back.
Yeah.
So
A lot of thieves will scope a place out, or at least scope out a neighborhood before they pick a target. And on the flip side of that conversation, do the same for your neighbors. If you see something that looks a little shady or that doesn't really line up, or it's kind of confusing to you, you know, throw some eyeballs on the situation. Go outside and water your plants, or sit outside on the deck, or start grilling something, or just enjoy the weather. Walk around your yard, something, just to get some people there, because chances are, if your neighbors have hired a gardener and you see that gardener with a crowbar working on the basement window, they're probably not a gardener, and you're probably going to catch them, and you're most definitely a good neighbor for doing so. So return the favor. It's what being in a community is about.
I mean, just something like I said, something as simple as that. And I'm guilty of it. I don't know all my neighbors, but I've made it a point as people move in and out to really, really be proactive and just say hi. Just literally just say hi, because that's all it takes, just to say hi. I mean, and then the next step is like what we said: make sure your yard is in shape and everything, all deferred maintenance is taken care of. Because if you look like you're not home, it's something else. But I want to go. I want to get to the door locks. I want to talk about what you can do as far as your home when all else fails.
Yes. When all else fails, the number one security measure ever is a sticker. Just one sticker will foil 90% of people who want to burglarize your home. If you've got like windows next to your door, like lined up against the side, or a window close to the house, somewhere really prominent, take one of the home secure protected by home security company whatever sticker and slap that on your window. Even if you don't have a home security system, just the sticker is enough to deter most criminals. It's actually kind of fantastic, and it's perfect social engineering. But door locks. Don't go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy like a quick set lock, even if they say maximum security and they've got like it's stamped on there and be like, can never be broken into, totally foolproof. By the way, we only make 3 models of this and all the keys are the same. Okay. Um, First of all, they're notoriously easy to break into. There's a special model of Kwikset that's used in most apartment buildings. I don't have the tool with me, but there's a tool. It looks like a screwdriver. You just put it in, crank it, and the door opens. It's sort of like a rekeying tool, but it actually breaks all the pins and tumblers inside because it's poorly made, and the lock comes undone and you just get in. Now, you don't want to do this if you're trying to be a sneaky thief, because chances are the lock won't ever work again. You usually can't crank it back into place without seriously breaking something. But if you need to get into a place, that's what you do. And this tool isn't expensive. It's not controlled. It's not part of the police force or anything. It's like a $20 tool you can find on Amazon. They're not illegal. They're not hard to get in different states. It's just something you can go buy. I'm surprised they don't have it at Lowe's or Home Depot, but it's not really something common you go out and get.
It's
So,
right next to the quick set lock.
quick set lock, quick set unlocker.
Yeah.
So be careful of those. If you're really looking for security, get a deadbolt, look online. Look online, and unfortunately I don't have any brand names for you that I can recommend at this time. But if you're looking for security, it's going to cost you money. Physical security is expensive to implement because it's expensive to design. Because if you make something, you're going to spend a lot of time, building all kinds. Sorry about that. You're going to be building all kinds of prototypes and different systems to try to get this thing to work. and you're going to be testing all the ones that don't work. You're going to be breaking stuff, you're going to be building new stuff, and you're going to hope that you finally get it right. And when you do, you're not only paying for the one lock that they built for $5, you're paying for, the 200 that didn't work out in the design phase. You're going to be paying for all the things that were broken security-wise, and that's a good thing.
And the other thing is, with these locks, if you actually do get locked out, I'm sure the locksmith has to be really trained in these special locks. It's not as simple. Because again, remember when we talk about passwords and stuff, the harder it is to remember, the less likely that someone else can hack it for you. It's on you to remember.
Now, keep in mind, you can buy the most awesome, fantastic lock in the world. You can spend like $800 on like this awesome padlock thing that uses lasers and retina scan and dinosaurs to unlock this thing, and like a DNA sequence that takes 3 weeks to unlock, and you can put it on your shed. If your shed door is like thin plywood, or if you use like a really flimsy hinge, I can just come up with, a $2 hammer and give that thing one good whack, and the hinge comes off the door. The number of times I've seen people implement physical security where they go over the top with some crazy locking scheme or authentication policy, and you just go up and essentially kick the door in because the hinge or the wood or a piece of the code was so flimsy that it just falls apart. Security, just like in computers, it is only as good as the weakest chain. If you're going to implement serious security, you have to do the whole thing. You can't just leave out one part.
I mean, my front door, even though it's it's not metal, it's whatever, the fake metal door, it's metal lined or whatever it is, has glass. A brick takes it out.
Yeah.
And I've always asked my neighbor, why do they have... So what I'm talking about is you have the doorknob with the key on both ends. To unlock the door, you need the key on the inside. And I always go, why do you do that? And they go, because we have a glass back door. All you got to do is punch out the glass, and then you can unlock it. If you put the key somewhere else, that means that the person needs the key. And it took me a while to realize that, but that was better security. And I've said, you know what? I want more convenience, so I'm just going to have I'll have the one lock, but I'll also have a deadbolt.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, so higher up that you can't use your hand and manipulate your way through there.
Right. Or you can't use the best lockpick set in the world to unlock the deadbolt.
Yeah, you can't use your Kroger card to do that. I mean, it's really simple. Go outside. Go outside when it's sort of dusk, when everyone you think is home, and just walk around. See, a professional is going to kick... Very few people are going to actually kick down the door. Unless there's something in there that they want and they know they're going to get away with it, they're going to try... Are all your windows locked? Lock your windows.
Yeah.
Are your air conditioners screwed in? Can you just literally pull the air conditioner out? Because a lot of people don't screw in their window units.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot, mostly in college towns where people have just lifted off the air conditioner unit and just slid it out of the window, or this is worse, if it's mounted incorrectly, just push it into the house and on top of whatever's there.
Or I've seen people with the computer on their desk by the window with the window open with the screen. Person punches through the screen and just grabs the monitor.
Oh, I saw that in a hotel in a shady area of Southern California. Just people, this guy with his laptop sitting there, ground floor, and he was gone. He was like in the bathroom or something, and there's his MacBook just sitting there on the coffee table. I'm like, really? Only worse are the people that, use the bathroom inside of Starbucks, but leave their laptop outside on the patio table.
Oh, yeah. It's just walk around your house and ask yourself, do you look like a target? Are there two nice cars in the driveway? With the blinds open, can you see the TV? So someone outside can just walk by and say, that's a pretty nice TV. Is your china set visible through the windows? I mean, go to the bedroom. What do you see in the bedroom? Is the jewelry box there?
Yeah,
And
so
that leads to, yeah.
take a walk around. Start thinking. If you start thinking like a thief, if you start thinking like a hacker, security is about this duopoly. It's about this, the security guy building the walls and the hackers and the thieves trying to break them down. And you need both. You need to have both mindsets to make effective security work.
I mean, you keep on walking, we keep on saying walking around. I mean, is everything locked? Are there I mean, I mean, if you want to go crazy, is your shed locked? Is the snowblower key inside the snowblower? Like I said on the top of the show, you choose the town that you live in, hoping that it's safe. You don't go out there saying that. So there's your first line. You took step 0. You said, I don't want to live in a crime-ridden area. So you've taken all that out. Now you just have to worry about the random people walking by.
Right.
And
we have a little bit of time left, so we've got
1 minute.
A decent. I'm gonna hope I'm not gonna demo fail live on air here, but here I've got my lockpick set that I've put in a glasses case, and this set is probably $20-$30. It's a pretty nice set. You can get them anywhere from $5 to you could spend, a ton of money on lockpicks if you really wanted to. The universal lockpick set right here. Seriously, convenience cards, great. Always keep them. If you're in Kroger, CVS, whatever, just say, oh yeah, I don't have one of those cards. Could you just grab me one of those? And collect them. When this thing dies, it's probably my 3rd one. You just go and get a new one. Bump keys. These are pretty cool, and unfortunately I don't have anything I can bump on camera. What these are their keys. But if you notice, all the pins are the same on every one of them. They're all raised to the maximum amount. What this does is you can just sit it in a door and knock it in with like a hammer or something. It causes the pins in the door to jump, and then you quickly twist the door handle to open the door. It's hard to get used to at first, but they work pretty well depending on the lock. Some locks are harder to bump than others. But we have my lockpicks. Here's a turning tool, and here's my rake. See, it's got like I don't know if you can see it on that backing. It's like kind of wavy. And these are practice tumblers. Now, this one is a 2-pin that I've labeled. It's just, a tumbler like you would see in a normal door lock. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, put my turning tool in, and most locks like this have got 5 to 6 tumblers, so this is going to be a really quick pick, and this is not how fast I could open up your door at home. It would take me a bit more time. So I'm going to put this in, put just a little bit of pressure, not too much because we don't want the pins to bind up. And there's lots of YouTube videos that show how to do this stuff. This is not secret hacker lingo or anything else.
And you got all of this just at any hardware store. This is not dark internet corner.
No, this isn't, on Silk Road or in the depths of the Tor network or the dark net. I just, I ordered this stuff. It's available in lots of places around the internet, hardware stores. If you go to any security conferences, there's usually a booth or 2 that have got lockpick sets around. And, I just keep them in a glasses case. I keep it in my backpack just in case I need it, which at some points I've actually needed it for legitimate reasons, when either locking myself out or I've needed to get into a place and someone wasn't there, not like a home or anything, but needed to acquire something and that I had authorization to do, but didn't have the keys handy, so I used these and they work. I also use this to lock and unlock my drawers at work because I lost my key. So I'm going to take this and just, kind of knock some pins up, and look, it already gave way. Look at that. So again, basic 2, just 2 pins. It's not going to be, this is not indicative of your door at home. Your door at home is probably going to be a 5 or a 6. Most residential, I want to say, is 5-pin. So, just small pick, done. And it's really, really easy to learn, really easy to get started, really cheap to get started. You can get, this kit has got 6 of these that you can just sit and practice on. It's great for, party tricks, sitting around, Just, oh, I can pick locks. No, you can't. Yes, I can. Here. And then everyone just gets around and tries. It's actually kind of fun. So if you want, just get some lock picks. Try it out. If you're interested at all, the lock picking community is everywhere, all over the internet. It's really, really great stuff. And there's tons to learn. Absolutely tons to learn.
Well, at this point we're out of time, but I think we have enough for at least a few more episodes on this. Because
Yeah, I think so.
We have enough to do a few more. So we gave you the overview. Just look around. Don't look like the target. Don't look like the tourist. Don't look like, hey, look at me. Try to blend into the background and just be. I mean, you've already changed all your passwords. You've done your two-factor. Do the same thing to your physical stuff in your house at home. It's the same idea. So, okay, until next week, we'll see you then.
Have fun.
Bye, guys.